Hey everybody, Brandon here with Ida Pocky, joined with Nick, the product manager for Protective here at CCM, here to run down the new CCM Tacks XF Pro glove line. Nick, I want to say thanks for having us out again. Before we get started on the new technology this year, how would you describe the fit profile and maybe the style of player that the Tacks glove line is designed
No, absolutely.
for?
So basically what our new Tacks gloves, what we would call a contoured fit. So definitely a little looser in the fingers, but definitely a little more snug in the base of the hand, really to have an anatomical fit behind that glove. In terms of how I would describe this as a player, right? If I adjust to somebody in the NHL, I definitely use somebody like Austin Matthews, right? Definitely wants a great level of comfort, but doesn't want to compromise on protection, right? Because we know Tacks that's what it's known for. So definitely packages that offer the best of both worlds in these gloves.
Right on, so that's a pretty elite player to...
Yeah, it's hard to beat.
Exactly. Now let's start off with the XF80.
For sure.
This is a great starting point for that competitive player who's maybe wanting to step up in protection to the next.
Yep.
That's a great entry level price point, but this is a great starting point for the player who's looking for some valuable protection. So let's get started off with the design that you have in terms of protection.
For sure. Well, I always like talking about gloves. Yes, protection is extremely important when we're talking about hockey gloves, but don't discount the comfort level in these gloves, all right? Not because we have protection that we can't do both. So in terms of the protection package, right, I'll start off with that one. We have our great backplate protection on our XF80 gloves that offers a great level of protection for slashes, puck impacts. We really do all the tests necessary to make sure that this glove is up to the standards of all those competitive players, right, that have high standards for these gloves. So we definitely have a great protection package here. We also have all our PE inserts in the back of the fingers to really make sure that not only your back of hand is protected, but also in the fingers to make sure that players are feeling comfortable, right, and safe when they're on the ice. I think this does a great job as well. In terms of what we did also in the inside of hand, right, we talk about protection, but I think durability is also a great point when we're talking about gloves, right? So what we have here, we have our base Sensalast palm for our base palm, but we also added our reinforcement inside the hand to really make sure that we keep a durable grip on the stick, but also have some great level of durability with this kind of protection and durability in the gloves.
And you also added some great out-of-the-box mobility too, with some
Absolutely.
stretch gussets. So could you walk us through, you know, the liner and other features that the XF80 offers?
For sure. So basically our XF80 has what we would call our stretch gussets. So what that allows to do is just make it easier for your hand to close when it's inside the glove to really react well when you're opening and closing the hand, right? You want players to be able to move their fingers independently inside the gloves. You want it to be a minimum amount of pressure to close that hand, just giving freedom of movement for all the players, whether you're competitive, elite, or you're in an extreme high level, right? So what this glove offers is basically the best of both worlds. We have great value in our third price point, and I think this glove does a great job in that regard.
Right on. Now, the next price point is a fantastic glove for the player who's looking for that elite level protection and comfort and mobility, but at a more affordable price. There's a lot of technology that's trickling down from the Pro. So walk us through what that XF has to offer.
For sure. So we'll start with the protection side of it. So you'll notice firsthand that we have a backup plate also on our XF. So it's not only on the 80, we also brought it to XF. Basically what this plate has more than what the prior model has is we have D3O. So right, we know D3Os are smart material, really made to disperse impact energy away from those joints to make sure that the puck impacts aren't located in a tiny area. We want to spread that impact out to make sure that hand has the best protection that we can offer. And what we also do with our D3O that's new in 24 is that it's made from sustainable materials, right? So we know D3O is making a lot of advancements in all those technologies, but what we made a focus in 2024 is to use more sustainable materials. So our D3O is made of recycled the other pieces of D3O where they compress everything and make separate sheets and create our new D3O that's made basically in a full circle. So I think they did a great job in bringing this one, and we still have great protection from it too. But the backup plate isn't where all the protection comes from, right? We also have a protection in the back of fingers with some PE inserts to make sure it's ready to get those impact protections on the back of fingers. But we also have that all across, on the cuff, on the base of the fingers, right? To really maximize that level of protection. And you mentioned a great point, comfort, right? We want gloves to be comfortable when they're in stores. We want them to be game ready. I showcased it in the last model, but this one is just an advancement of everything, right? The mobility on the fingers really emphasized with all the stretch gussets that's inside the fingers really makes it easy to close and open the hand when it's in the player. And that game ready feel to say, you won't have to wait 3 weeks to make sure that this glove is ready for a game, right? Take it from the score. We want you to be able to play on the ice that night of, and I think this glove does a perfect job at offering that for players.
I agree. You guys have done a fantastic job. We were talking off camera too about just the difference in palm material.
Of course.
So would you be able to walk us through what that Sensalast palm is?
Absolutely. So basically what we have in our XF models are Sensalast palm. What this Sensalast palm does great at first is durability, right? You're looking for gloves that won't last we want gloves that last for a long time, right? We don't want to be changing palms. Our Sensalast is our highest performing palm, right? But what we also do in our palms is we also add a level of reinforcement in on the base of the hand. What this does is that it carries most of the usage when you're playing with a stick, right? Because we know you're not holding the majority of your stick in the top of the fingers, right? We want the whole point to be in the focal of that reinforcement. And what that allows the glove to do is just to take more practices, take more games with it, but not sacrificing anything on the comfort level and on that softness. So it's a game of playing between those two to make sure we have an optimized palm for our gloves. And our Sensalast is our highest performing palm, so we'd love to put it on all the gloves we can offer.
Right on. And let's talk about that flex motion cuff. There's a unique design there as well that's actually run throughout the glove line.
Absolutely.
So let's hit on the cuff there.
Absolutely. So basically what our Flex Cuff's design is, what it offers is that it's not a snug fit in the cuff. We want players to be really liberated inside that cuff, because that's really the whole DNA behind the Tacks family, is to just give people freedom of movement inside that glove, right? We don't want it to be too tapered. We want it to be really freedom of movement inside the glove. And what it really allows players to do is also flex on their hand and make sure that the glove is not causing any pressure points, because it has a really nice opening inside the hand, and make sure that it's not compromising on any other of your pieces of equipment. So it's really a different way of viewing our cuffs, and we think it works extremely well in Tacks, and it's been something we kept up for the past few years, and I think Tacks really does a great job at showcasing that DNA behind it.
Totally. Now we have the top model here. Absolutely outstanding graphic detail and overall look. Just loving this glove this year. We have some incredible protection as well. So walk us through the unique benefits of this XF Pro.
For sure. Well, first off, I want to shout out, I really want to look at the colorways. I think our designers this year in 24 did a great job at really showcasing the look of the glove, right? We really went outside of the box to try to innovate and find new ways of adding different colors. We have this brand new graphite gray, which I think does a great job of really just making the glove look clean. I think it has a very clean look. And in terms of tech and specs, I think the first one that really jumps out of my eyes is when we look at the Nest Tech inside the thumb. So what this Nest Tech will do is a couple different things. First off, we'll start with breathability. Our Nest Tech is really a great technology because it really brings in airflow. So you see it in our Tacks X helmet. It's one of the most popular helmets at that elite level. And what we've done is we brought pieces of that into our glove technology, right? And what this does is it really allows players to have airflow as they're skating, right? Because when you think of how you skate, you're always skating towards or you're skating back, and it really allows that airflow to really come inside. But getting air in isn't everything that matters, right? You gotta get air out. So what this glove also has, it'll have a nice little air vent in the back of hand to really showcase that ventilation and really allow air to exit the glove, because gloves are the pieces that get the most hot in the body, am I right? So we really want to make sure that players are feeling nice and has gear that's really nice and breathable when they're on the ice.
Right on. I just loving I mean, the hands get so sweaty throughout the game, and that's just, you know, an awesome feature to have, especially the Nest Tech with the protection level that it still offers.
That's it, because Nest Tech has two jobs in here. Yes, airflow, but it also has a protection level. If you look at the Nest Tech, it's a little bit stiffer than what we do in helmets. And why is that? Because we want to offer a great level of protection in this area that's always at risk for slashes, puck impacts. So we want to make sure that it's not only doing breathability, but it's also protecting players.
Now, this is the glove, like you mentioned, for the maximum coverage and protection. That shot blocker who's stepping in the shooting lane, we have incredible protection along the backhand.
Of course.
So that impact protection plate, walk us through the design there.
This is what I would like to call a super plate, and the reason why I like to call it this way is because it doesn't only do your back of hand, it actually goes all the way around to your thumb area. So you're not only protected in one key area, it actually wraps all across. It's a little different than what our other models or other price points offer. So that protection is not only plastics, but also has D3O, right? Mentioned it on the second price point. Well, D3O is still here on the top price point to really distribute that impact energy away from those key areas that we want to protect. And I think that super plate does a great job of not only protecting that back of hand, but really getting that side of hand protection too.
You know, a small but awesome design are the finger gussets, because there's a hybrid design there too.
Yeah.
What makes this different from just a regular full stretch gusset.
Absolutely, that's a great question. So the reason why we go hybrid in our gloves at the XF Pro level is because we don't want the protection to separate from the glove. So as you're closing your hand, you notice my fingers are always snug inside those plastic inserts in the back of hand. So whether your hand is closed on a stick or open as you're skating forward, your protection is always close to the fingers. So it really gives a pro look to the glove because players all across the NHL, AHL really want that finger protection at the end, and the hybrid fingers really do a great job at not only offering protection, but also a great level of comfort because, right, you're at the top price point. You want the best of both worlds, and I think our hybrid gussets really do a great job at showcasing those two things.
Last but not least is Polygene technology. Gloves are a piece of gear that just is so prone to bacteria buildup. But you've addressed that issue
for sure
with Polygene. So walk us through Polygene.
So basically what Polygene will do is we apply it on the inside of the cuff, and what it'll actually do is an antibacterial. So it'll attack those odors that really build up inside of hockey bag, right? Players don't always air their gear out, and that's fine. So what Polygene does is just go the extra mile. It'll fight off those bad odors. It'll also fight off bacteria that are inside the glove, and really just keeps it a nice fresh look inside the glove where we don't have that 3-year-old glove that's been sitting in a bag that kind of gets that nasty smell to it, right?
That's perfect. Yeah, if you're getting that top price point, you want it to last, and a stinky glove is a reason that many players kind of might move on. But that issue has been addressed with Polygene technology.
And one of the great things also on this glove is we talk about protection, we thought about odor crunch, but we really want to talk about its comfort too, right? So everything that's inside the hand, inside of foams, the way you close your fingers, we really make sure that when you put your hand in that glove, it's really a seamless fit. It really fits well around your hand. It has a perfect anatomical fit behind your hand, and this all starts with our comfort foams inside the hand. And what these comfort foams really allow to do is your hand to get a nice little cushion when you're putting your hand inside. And all these foams that are super soft allow the glove to be more of a game-ready feel. I mentioned it earlier, but again, we want players to be able to play with these gloves as soon as they buy them.
Right.
So when we have all these comfort foams inside, it just makes the job a whole lot easier.
You can totally tell the moment you put it on. It's actually pretty incredible. Well, Nick, I just want to say thank you once again for running us through the XF glove line this year.
My pleasure.
And then for you at home, if you're looking to get your hands on one of these incredible XF gloves from CCM this year, you can head over to icewarehouse.com.